station. Express Dayavati Station, Netaji Bhogle.
Hello and welcome to Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Shaun, Pollock and Harsha Bhogle. Mr. Bhogle fervently typing something away on his phone.
No, searching for Patirana's release points.
Ah, okay. I can help you with that. They were at the Chepauk. All of them today were at the Chepauk.
Yes, but that was the release. By the time it reached the batter, it was somewhere else because I'm not sure it was in Chepauk. It was on the street.
Marina
adjacent.
Beach?
On the marina adjacent.
Yeah, that's the only part of Chennai I know, so I went with that. I went with the easy joke. But yeah, Patirana's release points, basically, I think he was releasing it somewhere here. Now he's releasing somewhere here. Next season it'll probably be here. I don't know, but whatever it is, these hands of the clock, it's not a good time for Chennai. Really not a good time. For Hyderabad, it was a bit of a dodgy time in the middle, but they've managed to pull this across the line. Polly, is it fair to say they've managed to? Because things got just a little tricky in the middle.
Yeah, they managed to. They weren't doing it in convincing style, if we're brutally honest. Ishan Kishan was the pick. I mean, he was the one who kind of helped him set it up there. And then the selection of Mendis actually worked out nicely because he was super cool and calm there at the back end. I thought he was superb. But it's not one of those games where you go away from thinking, that was it. We put all our performances together and we can take a lot of confidence from them. It's basically, we got some points. We're not out of the competition mathematically, but still we haven't seen the best of them.
I think with the win today, Hyderabad is, there are different kinds of wins. There are different kinds of ways to announce your return to a party. You can either fling the door open and walk in with confidence or climb the pipe and go through the window like they've done today. They're still in the house.
Me and Harsha have never climbed the pipe and gone through it. You may have. We've always come through the front door. He's not used to his joke coming back at him.
No, I thought everyone did that. You don't?
No chance.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, okay.
Shocking.
Okay, so he just looked through the hole, nobody else, and crept in quickly.
Okay, look through the keyhole.
No, look through. There was nobody there. Quickly crept.
That's because... let's not go there now. Yeah, but they've kind of managed to just creep into the house at this point in time and stay in there. Whereas Chennai, unfortunately, now for the next 3 weeks of the league stage, are going to be basically outside the party looking in.
Actually, to be fair, Chennai told the Sunrisers, we're going on a holiday, we're leaving the door open.
Yeah.
In case you want to come in and pick up whatever you want and leave, there'll be nobody there.
Yeah, they left the door open, but Hyderabad said, no, we want to climb the pipe, but this window's locked now. They tried to come down the chimney, and then they realized in the end that the door was open.
I think Dhoni deserves a special award today because his bowlers were bowling so many wides and no balls, and he must have been trying very hard to stay calm.
Yeah.
They bowled, I think, 8 wide balls at least, because there's one that went for 4. 11, there were 11 in all, so 4 wides, you take those out. So 8 balls that were bowled wide and 2 no balls. That's 10 runs there straight away.
Yeah.
Plus you don't know, we can't measure what's happened on the extra ball that was bowled.
Correct.
So there's the game, no?
Yep. On a 150 game, there's the game.
And wides and no balls you should control, no? The philosopher Pollock has a line on that.
What's your line? Not the popping crease. What's the other line that you have about no balls?
No, there's just certain things. I remember reading a coach said something about the line was along the lines of, we're going to be the team that does, what is the words?
1%.
That
doesn't...
The things that don't require talent.
No.
We're going to do 100%, we're going to do it best.
We'll be the best.
And to stay behind the line doesn't really require talent. You know, to deliver it and do certain things with the ball, that requires talent. But to stay behind the line...
Yeah, that requires discipline, awareness.
Well, you think about it, if you had to have a look back at the start of RPL 18 years ago, you would have thought the one thing that would probably be persona non grata guaranteed by year 18 is that people wouldn't be bowling no balls and wides.
Yeah.
Or not wides, when I say wides, as badly as we saw today, but no balls. You would think that's something that you've got to eliminate.
Yep.
And
for a spinner to do it, it's even...
Spinner to do it.
Yeah.
Had to run there's 2 from Noor. I think there was one. Was there not one from
So
today?
Patirana just bowled wides.
Just bowled wide.
He just bowls wide. Yeah, but Noor bowled 2, and after his second no ball, the next ball he bowled from behind the umpire. It's pretty much
Just to ensure that he didn't come
I think he bowled it
line.
from the 30-yard circle. I'm not sure. I'll have to see the replay. But he bowled it from that far back because
It's like if you miss a train, you go to the station one day early for the next
That's
time.
right. You wait.
Yeah.
And there's the old Hindi saying, right, which I'll convert for you. I'll translate for you in English, where he said that if your tongue has got burnt from milk, even when you drink cold buttermilk, you'll do it with. How's that for translation?
He'll do it. Okay.
I love the translation now more than the original.
It's great, isn't it? I like it better. I'm just going to use
mouth
that.
is burnt with milk, then even
I'll
when
do
you
better.
drink cold buttermilk, you will do foo-foo.
I'll do a better one. Sir, if milk tongue burning, buttermilk drinking, that's the one. That's the one. But I think you can say the same about Hyderabad's batting today as well, right? Milk tongue burning, buttermilk.
It was iffy. I think when Klaasen got out, they were in serious danger of losing that game. And that's why that Ishan Kishan's 44 and the coolness of Kamindu Mendis. That Aniket Verma hit a couple of sixes at that point, and I think he might just have taken the pressure off a little bit.
Yeah, but what was that shot? I mean, I know he's a youngster, but that shot at that time to that bowler, no.
No.
Yeah.
But he scored 19. But I thought it was Ishan Kishan, Kamindu Mendis, those contributions that eventually made a difference. And I don't know, this is just an observation. I'd love two of you to tell me what you think. I think Nitish Reddy's got freed of the pressure of batting at 4 and is now coming back to where I think he's happier batting. I mean, everyone wants to bat at 4, but where he's better off batting, and he batted with so much freedom. Aram se. I mean, he just batted like, what's the problem with all of you guys?
Yeah.
He was retained, right? Nitish Reddy?
Yeah.
Correct.
And I think that's also a complete difference. You know, if you get into a side and you're happy to be part of it and you want to make your contributions, you put your best foot forward. It's a change of mindset when they say, hey, okay, you're one of the big 4 that we're going to retain and we expect a lot from you next season. All the best. Your mindset, the responsibility for a guy like that, maybe that's just been weighing on his shoulders, and then maybe your point is right, that get him back to the position where he was more successful.
Also, in between, he's played a few test matches. He's got a very emotional test 100 in Melbourne. So suddenly there's expectations around him a little bit. He's played for India T20. So there's expectations around him suddenly. And he's not bowling.
Yeah.
So he has to deliver with the bat.
So it's a change of mindset, and that's the mind is one of the most powerful things, you know. And if you put extra pressure on yourself, it can have an effect.
Today, when we look at the Chennai bowling, there was a time in the middle where they were kind of choking the run rate, and the asking rate at the halfway stage was almost close to 9. And at that time, you thought maybe Chennai is in with a chance. But when you look at those bowlers, who are the ones who impressed you, Polly, the most today?
Well, I gave Noor Ahmed a big rap, but that's the worst I've seen him bowl, I think, in the IPL so far this season. He didn't have that kind of control. Patirana was missing a beat. I thought Kalal was nice up front. Kamboja was good as well, and Jadeja was really good. You know, he picked up that wicket of Klaasen, and I was actually surprised that they didn't carry on with him at that time.
Yeah, because he had them, right? What was his first 2 overs were, 6?
Yeah, something like
6 runs. He bowled his 3rd over for 11. That was the 11th over. But that included 6 of the last ball. He still looked like he was utilizing this surface the best, and he kind of had them tied up in knots. Do you think they missed
him to bowl out at that point?
Yeah.
I expected one more. I thought he'll bowl out at that point.
I was a little surprised that he came to bowl at the 19th, because almost like it was in my head, it was, his 4 are done now. So were you a little as well? The game was gone.
Surprised.
The game was gone when he came to bowl on the 19th.
That 19 doesn't count.
Yeah.
Because as you said, the game is over. But at that point, I just wonder whether Dhoni thought, if they go after him, I'll hold him back. Let's see what happens. If there's a wicket, maybe I'll get him back on. These are all instinct, tactical decisions that you take there at the spur of the moment. And he had Patirana to go to.
Yeah.
And I'm a little befuddled by Patirana, because when he first came in, we thought, wow, here's a Malinga look-alike, but he's also got the pace that a young Malinga had. And his arm was, if anything, lower than Malinga's. He was getting the Yorkers, everything going. Yeah. I don't know if he's progressed in his career.
I can give you a bit of insight. Someone in Sri Lanka, I'm not too sure who the coach was, but you know, for a guy who's got such an orthodox action, you don't want to load up like Brett Lee. or Shaun Pollock, because we high over the top. He's a completely different release point. And I think one of the coaches got him actually to load up, straight up again, and then come down and bowl from wide, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And that it got his hand a little bit higher. And I know even at the SA20, they were working on trying to get his hand a little bit lower and trying to get him load back into the position. So that may be part of the reason
It's
why.
interesting you say that, because Sri Lanka is the home of letting unorthodox bowlers stay unorthodox.
Yeah.
And just letting them be. We saw Ajanta Mendis, we saw Lasith Malinga. Well, Murali in his way too, was they let him be the bowler he was. So I'm a little surprised they tried to change him, because, I mean, if you see Patirana's action, the human body is not designed to bowl like that.
Fair. Yeah.
And as a result, he's looking somewhere and the ball's going somewhere. The number of wides he bowled today, and right through the series, he's going at economy rate of 9.5, but he's bowling 2 or 3 wides every over. So even if he bowls 3 or 4 good balls, he concedes maybe a boundary or a couple of twos. He's still going at 8 or 9 and over.
Well, there was a stat that came up there. He's bowled 22 overs in the RPL and he's gone for 24 wides. That was before the start of the game.
And he bowled
so today another 3 or 4. So he's basically bowling every over he bowls is a 7-ball over.
Yeah, and these are not the kind of wide balls that a lot of other bowlers are bowling strategically, saying, I'm going to test the line because I don't want the batter to free arms. These are just wayward wide balls.
They've got a mind of their own. The balls are just deciding, I'm going somewhere else.
These aren't like strategic wide balls where you're going, I'll take the risk and I'll play down that line.
There's a line Jonty Rhodes once told me about his own bowling. He said, I tried to bowl, but the ball disobeyed me. I think the ball was disobeying Patirana today.
I think the ball was just upset with him that no matter when I'm trying to go to the boundary, you fly in from somewhere and stop me. So since you don't let me express myself, I will not let you express yourself. I'm in that kind of dancing mood today. I'll tell you who's not dancing. Chennai. The team is not. Their fans still are, strangely. I don't understand. But anyway, that's good. People should be happy, so that's nice. The team's not happy, you can tell. These losses, and I think the fact that, Polly, the margin of these losses, like, none of them have even been close. They haven't competed in the games that they've lost.
Yeah, it is. It's the fashion you go down and the style and the fight that you kind of show as a team unit, and it hasn't been anywhere near what we've expected from Chennai. I mean, there was a time in Chennai's history where they were kind of never out of it until the final nail was in the coffin. You know, you always believed that they could fight back, but you do get the feeling now that if things aren't going according to plan, you're not going to get much of a fight from them.
That's it. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
From? And he said, from whom?
Yeah. I'll tell you why. Because there's so many losses there, and there's so much they haven't done. I thought that I'd be listening for about 6 or 7 minutes.
No, I mean, what else do you say?
A pass, and the ball came back too quickly.
I was like, why is it back with me right now? Because again, I mean, I remember, the producer said that we must talk about where it's gone wrong for Chennai this season. And I said, well, that might be a very, very long show.
Well, they won the first game.
Yeah.
They won the first game in Chennai, unless it was just Mumbai doing Mumbai things and giving up the first game. But they won that first game, and you thought, yeah, okay, there's a few things here. We knew they'd have problems at the top of the order. They desperately needed Conway to have a big season, I thought. Because Conway is so CSK. They thought Conway should have a big season. That didn't happen. Ravindra's had an iffy season.
Yeah.
And they needed one of Vijay Shankar, Huda, Tripathi, those people to come good. None of them have. So suddenly the batting order's been all over the place.
Correct.
And as a result, they've had to use a lot more players in search of finding the right combination. And I think with 5 games to go, they still haven't found it.
Yeah, I have a question on that. It's a very interesting point you made where you said, we figured they may have, or we guessed they may have top order struggles. I didn't think that, because I thought they'd go with Convoy and Rituraj Gaikwad, which was a very successful opening combination with them. But they didn't open with them. They didn't start.
The reason was they started with Sam Curran. They wanted that all-rounder.
Remember, they opened with Tripathi and Convoy. They opened with Tripathi and Rachin and Convoy.
Why are you calling him Convoy?
Conway, sorry.
There's almost whole
I'll tell you why, because there's been a convoy of players that Chennai's used. Yeah, pretty much all of them. All their cars are parked there. But with Conway, I don't think Rituraj Gaikwad opened. Did he open this season at all?
No.
He didn't open.
No, because initially, I was doing one of the presentations, I asked him that, and he said the team management, everyone thought that at number 3 could control the innings and that Tripathi goes for it at the top. If he just gets off to a flyer, gets you 25 of 10, 11 balls, that's what's happening. So I don't know if that was the start of the issues, because Ruturaj is just a far better player. So he goes in at the top, and Tripathi's played at 3-4 everywhere. But they started with Tripathi at the top, and Ravindra. Ravindra's been in sort of alternating, like alternate current. He's been up and down and up and down and up and down. But they never got that 3 or 4 player.
Right.
And once Ruturaj was gone, they lost that really solid top order player.
I want to ask Polly a question about that. Just strategically, I hear a lot of this that, bat at 3 and control the innings. If you're the best batter and you're going to control the innings, then you're better off just doing it while opening.
And he's done very well as an opener.
Because I don't understand what's if you're controlling, you have a better chance of doing it with no loss than at 1 down. I don't get it.
I think also just from a slightly more abstract point of view is that if you're the captain, you want to be giving a certain message. You know, you don't want it to be muddled or confused or anything along those lines. If you can't even work out where you should bat, it kind of sends a wrong message to the rest of the batting lineup. Like
Either that, or he wanted to bat somewhere, but bowed to everyone else, thinking, no, I think you're better off there.
Exactly goes to my point. It's like, for example, like Dhoni has been given free rein when he's been captain, and he comes in when he thinks is best, or he sends someone else up. And a captain needs to be able to do that.
I know another captain who was perfectly capable of batting 6 and 7 in a test match, but the moment he became captain, started dropping himself down the order so that other people could...
You're just very polite.
What to do?
You're like, after you, sir. After you also. And they'll be like, now you're the last person. No one else left. Okay, then I'll go now. But that's exactly where Chennai is on the table now. They are absolutely at the very end. And Hyderabad, well, they'll take this win because this win has just given them a little bit of breath of life, right? I mean, they've come from 9 to 8 and, you know, that's not going up much. But what happens with this is now they have 5 games left. Of course, they will want to believe, Harsha, that they can get the 10 points. Why not? And
you know, we had this interesting discussion before between Hyderabad and Chennai, saying which of the 2 teams is more likely to keep going up.
Yeah.
And we thought Hyderabad at least have the players, if they start to come good, to keep climbing up the table.
Yeah.
Whereas Chennai are looking completely disconsolate. I mean, I'm looking at that and saying, how are Chennai going to play the next 5 games? They've got 5 more games to go. Whereas Hyderabad, suddenly they get onto a surface where head suddenly switches on.
Yeah.
Abhishek switches on. Today, I think they've got their right team with Kamindu Mendis as sort of batting support. Nitish Reddy down. So suddenly their batting looked a little better organized. So they've got the players and the strength to go up.
Yeah.
But when we had this discussion, I went and looked at their fixtures, still to come. And if I can remember correctly, I think they've got 3 or 4 of the top 5.
Gujarat, Delhi,
Bangalore,
RCB, KKR,
LSG. All above them on the...
Well, that wasn't hard, but long way above them.
Can I tell you something?
He's not the kind, good-hearted soul everyone thinks he is. He keeps coming up with these.
I tell you, sometimes he just kicks the door open and
Come on, let's
sometimes he sneaks in from the pipe.
Show us their fixtures and show us where they're
I'll tell you, the fixtures are, I mean, you're telling those poor kids who are half asleep to make a graphic real quick, which they can't. So I'll just tell you.
Well, we've just seen the Chennai
Delhi,
one.
Bangalore. They beat the Chennai one because it's Chennai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gujarat?
They made the Hyderabad one.
LSG, DC.
Yeah.
Punjab, Bangalore
KKR
and Kolkata.
Yeah.
So all those 4 of those 5 teams, Kolkata maybe is not in the mix, but 4 of those 5 teams are looking for qualification.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's a good thing and a bad thing. A bad thing that they're in decent form, but a good thing if you want to qualify, you have to beat all these teams to take points of them.
But can I tell you something? Think about this. If they do end up beating all these teams that are above them and getting into the playoffs, they're going to go to the trophy. If they beat all the teams above them on a roll for 5 games and go into the playoffs, nobody wants to play them.
And isn't that what Dan Vettori said before the start of this game? He said, we want to do what Bangalore did last year.
Yeah.
And we talked about that briefly in the pre-show. So today they didn't exactly storm their way through.
Not at all.
They stumbled their way in, whether through the pipe or through the keyhole
Back door.
or whatever. No, the back door doesn't matter.
If they do manage to do that,
yeah.
the movie will be released on the 1st of January 2026
Yeah?
of how they did it.
That's...
Because it would be remarkable.
They'll have to make it really quickly. It'll star Allu Arjun and maybe David Warner, because he's another big Telugu star. So only the two of them.
Ramcharan special appearance.
Ramcharan special appearance, love it. Rajamouli directing it. And they'll
No,
make it really
Rajamouli is directing it. It'll come out in 28 because the special effects will take 2 years to do.
That's true, and it'll be in 3 parts. It'll be in 3 parts. All right, well, today there's one thing they got right. They got Kamindu Mendis into the team, who bowled well, who batted well. I really think that in the middle he was kind of controlling the chase when it looked a little dodgy. I think he definitely pulled them out of the fire. And that one catch that he just plucked out of midair. So he is without doubt a coolest performer of the match, powered by Voltas. Shaun Kamzada. There you go. He had his 32. More importantly, not out. That asterisk is very important. Of 22 balls. And then he bowled his 3 overs, 1 for 26. And that catch. Oh, that catch. That catch was chef's kiss. Mwah!
Even if you look purely at the batting, he's playing a 170 game. He's striking 145. That's about a 170 game.
Correct.
So he's way above what the asking rate is, purely as a batter. He bowled 1 expensive over, but he'd taken a wicket before that, the wicket of Jadeja.
Yeah.
And as you said, that catch is going to be seen very often.
Yeah.
So he's had a fabulous day.
He's had a fabulous day. Cool Kamindu.
He was indeed. There's always the conundrum, isn't it, that when you've got he's better than a part-time bowler, but when he's a part-time bowler and he gets away with 2 overs,
Yes.
as a captain you think, oh, can I push him for a
Yes.
third? And they pushed him and that over went for 20. That was the only thing that wasn't cool about his performance. But the rest of it was fantastic. So also nice from a management perspective when you make that decision and the guy gets in there and performs the way he does. Yeah. It's good.
So for you, he's a mainstay with this team, irrespective of the surfaces they play on now?
Now, from now on, yes. Unless their top order really comes good and they don't need that additional person there.
Yeah.
But given that the top order has been stumbling, I think they thought they needed the extra batter in.
And it worked on this surface.
It worked.
I think he was also a choice for the situation and the surface.
And as India gets hotter and hotter now, Delhi's already nudging 40, 42, Hyderabad's whatever, 38, 39. As it gets hotter and hotter, the pitches will get drier and drier. Doesn't matter how much you water them. So they'll get slower as you hit peak summer. So his kind of bowler with 2 overs might also come in very handy.
Yeah. Clever.
This will be the latest that the RPL ever finished, right?
31st.
No, usually it's around that time. It's always
early days. It
in
used
the
to
last
go
10 days.
Sometimes it used to go into first week of June.
I think it's the first IPL final was on the 1st of June. I remember back in 2008.
It wasn't today. I didn't read somewhere where today was the day that Chennai or something was crowned champions.
Yeah, but that was just one. I think, so what has happened is a few of the years, it has been pulled up maybe because there was a T20 World Cup to be played after or...
But could never have ended.
2010 was a T20 World Cup in West Indies, if you remember. So it ended because in early May, that T20
right.
World Cup was beginning. So
Chennai
it was
2010. We're given the trophy today,
Yeah, it was one of those bizarre years where it wrapped up in the end of April, but otherwise pretty much goes here. Yeah, so as the weather gets hotter, Kamindu will get cooler. So he was our coolest performer of the match, powered by Voltas, Shaun Kamzada. And as it gets hotter, you've got to keep the Voltas on, just like we have here right now, keeping us nice and comfortable. Now, let's see what's happening tomorrow. Everyone will be comfortable because there's just one game in the evening. It's a Saturday, but just the one game, no double header. And it's Kolkata playing Punjab. Who, sir, is cooler and more comfortable going into this game?
Punjab need the 2 points because they're flying high.
Correct. So,
Kolkata's one of those staying alive kind of games.
Yeah.
So for Kolkata lose this, it's very, very difficult for them to come back. I think the points table will tell us the story of why it's critical for Kolkata. But the other teams that are below Punjab are starting to look and say, Punjab, don't fly away to 12 points. Because Punjab are on 10, they get up to 12. Now suddenly Lucknow is thinking, oh, they were with us till yesterday. So Punjab go to 12. It's a big result for them.
It is because they've, they're tied on points with Mumbai and Lucknow, but they've got a game in hand.
Yes.
That's the game that's being played tomorrow. So if Calcutta can actually stop them, Calcutta
It benefits others.
It's better for it's better for the league, like they say, right?
Yes.
Because it's better for Calcutta, because then they come there and thereabouts.
Yes.
It's kind of
better for Mumbai and
every
Lucknow.
other team. Except Punjab, it's good for everyone.
It's better for everybody except Punjab.
Yeah. Which is, so that's the tricky bit. We look at the Punjab team and see if there are any changes. Any of these who have impressed you? Any of those you think should perhaps come in for a change?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they've actually shown some wonderful fight. Even your Xavier Bartlett, once he's come in for the injured Lockie Ferguson, I think he's done okay. I don't see a way back for Maxwell. That's just from an international perspective. And I wouldn't look to change it. I think they've shown a little bit of spunk. There's a bit of team vibe going on there at the moment.
What about the top two? Are you impressed by the youngsters, especially Priyansh?
Yeah, I've loved the approach, isn't it? And I mean, it's almost like you can just imagine the chats they have with Ricky Ponting. And he sits there and goes, come on, boys, you my boys, get stuck in there, go and set the world on fire. And they're doing that. And that's sometimes what you need, just the freedom, the free spirit, just uncomplicated. Just go and see that ball. It almost reminded me, when I was thinking of it the other day, it reminded me of the Sri Lankan World Cup victory, when Kalu and Jayasuriya at the top of the order, and then you had all that experience to come after them. The Silva and Ranatunga and Kunarasinga. You had all those three, so it was you two, off you go. Go and express yourself. Try and get yourself to a fast start. If it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, we'll sort it out.
Hey, listen, they got Manoj Pavagar to bowl spin once in the '96 World Cup. That's how badly they went after India. We were talking so interestingly about controlling the innings at 3, right? Shreyas Iyer, the captain of Punjab, has actually been doing that. That's a job that he's anyway done.
It's had a slightly hot and cold tournament.
That's what has happened.
Yeah.
I think since that, I think it's just been hot and then cold. It's been quite distinct, right? It's been in two halves. And the last few games, since his runs haven't come, since his control of the innings hasn't come, you've noticed that the innings has been kind of little here and there.
Also, he went through a pattern where he was scoring away and not scoring at home. But he's now going to a place where the track will suit his kind of batting.
Yeah.
And a place where he's played a lot of cricket last year.
Yes, of
So he won't mind playing at the Eden Gardens because the ball will come on. I think Shreyas likes the ball coming on. He's become a much better player, the short ball. So he might like a track with a little bit of zip and bounce in it to be able to play his shots too. So he might actually enjoy batting at the Eden Gardens.
I hope he gets that kind of surface that he likes, because if he doesn't get the kind of surface he likes, he's not allowed to say anything about it anyway. So,
more importantly, I haven't been to this new Punjab Stadium. Is it nice?
It's nice. It's
really good.
Yeah, it's a couple of tiers. It's a little far away.
Okay.
Yeah, but this one's in the Eden Gardens.
Surface.
There's Eden Gardens tomorrow.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just going to say I haven't been to it.
It's been sort of 170, 180 kind of game.
And what kind of pitches are they? Like turf?
Conducting a Viva or something?
No, I'm just asking. I'm just trying to...
No, it's been about a 170, 180, but it's a nice ground.
But fast pitches, bouncy?
Not very.
Not very.
Not very.
Very different to what they used to have at Mohali.
In the early days of Mohali, if you remember, as Mohali started to grow older, the pitches became a little tired as they went along.
Okay.
This is a newer one, but it's not a 200, 220 kind of surface. We just go boom, boom.
Yeah, I was just a little suspicious. I don't know if that was a survey or an interrogation. I don't know.
Ask it as both.
you know, if it was an interrogation, someone like Polly comes in and the person who's being interrogated looks and says, this is a kind man.
No, he's the good cop. He's the good cop. And then the bad cop comes behind.
The bad cop's climbing up the pub.
Scaring you from outside. Answer the question!
He's the good cop, but you take off the mask sometimes.
Defamation of character.
Oh, come on. I gave you carrot cake today. You should be happy about that. Yeah, but again, just one last question about them, though, but Shreyas Iyer's captaincy, because I just keep saying it, and it really troubles me because he won the trophy last year. Yes. And I thought, captains, when you win an IPL trophy, you just get so much credit. Somewhere I feel like he was a little underappreciated and I think we're all a little guilty of it because we all set the narrative, we're all the storytellers. I feel like he got a little less credit than he deserved. Yeah. I think this year he is getting the credit with that Punjab team, and he should.
And I think he alluded to it last year too. He might have said that he didn't quite get the credit he deserved. And danger this year with Ponting, who's such a strong, big personality. But Ponting's an interesting person. He lets you be too sometimes.
Yeah.
So if
And they get on well, both of them.
But that's the reason. The moment Ponting moved to Punjab,
You knew.
it was very clear that Shreyas's wealth manager was going to be very happy.
You saw it coming from a mile.
You saw it coming straight away.
Because Punjab also had like the biggest coffers.
They only retained, if you remember, they only retained two uncapped players.
So there was, no.
That's it.
Prab Simran and
Shashank. That's it. That's all they
Those are the only
retained.
two. Yeah. Arshdeep they got back in the auction, RTM.
Yes. I actually thought they would retain Arshdeep.
Yeah.
But anyway, they did that. But Ponting was very clear he wanted Shreyas. If Shreyas is taking them to the playoffs this year, once you get to the playoffs, you never know what happens. But to get into the playoffs in a grueling tournament like this is a very good result.
Yeah.
So if he can take them to the playoffs, it'll be a fabulous result. Given that he's taken Delhi to the final before.
Correct.
He's won with Calcutta.
Correct.
Now he comes here, takes them to the playoff. It's a feather in his cap.
You somehow don't think he's actually, would he just end up in all of this? Might just be in the top 5 most successful captains in the history of the IPL.
Also won the Mushtaq Ali for Mumbai.
Yep.
Rahane was captain for everything else. Shreyas was captain in the Mushtaq Ali.
Well, there you go. And then Rahane is the captain for everyone else who's not Punjab tomorrow. It's the Calcutta team.
Yes.
So he's the captain. Their choice of captain, in fact, was entirely the other way. You had no idea it was coming, Polly, because they got him actually in a callback of the auction. And you thought that once, like, are they going to make Venki Iyer the captain because they went after him so much? And then suddenly it's announced that he's the captain. It's a good thing that he's a good lad. We know him well. He doesn't have any ego at all, because that could kind of hurt the ego of a player sometimes.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys who, once he was given the job, he would make the best of it. And I think everyone would get behind him. He's just a wonderful individual. I mean, I worked with him in 08, 09.
Yeah.
So he's been around forever.
Remember when you were in Mumbai in 08, there was Dhaval Kulkarni and there was Ajinkya Rahane, and they'd both be standing there trying to get Polly's ear because Dhaval wanted to learn how to bowl better, and Ajinkya was just this good boy standing.
Ajinkya was just looking for a game.
And they're just waiting for Polly Kaka to look at them so that they can go and chat with him.
So I think he's also got a wealth of experience from a captaincy perspective. But it is funny. I mean, when the team wins the trophy the year before, that the captain moves on. It doesn't often happen like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's got a bit of work to do to try and get that team, or that ship, because they started okay, didn't they? They looked like they were going to make a charge of it. But as I say, I think the top of the order has probably been the problem. I don't think Quinton de Kock's been as good as they would have hoped.
And they got Gurbaz in the last game instead of him.
Sunil Narayan's been hit and miss. Actually, Rahane has been the best batter this year.
Yeah.
So,
But Nareen was always going to be a tough ask. It's like I said in the show last night. It was a good season, a purple patch for him the way he played. But could he do it again?
Too much of a good thing?
Yeah.
It's like what you said about the part-time bowler pulling in a third.
Exactly.
I guess it's too much. Yeah.
They kind of should have said, and then obviously got rid of Salt as well, which was his little partner at the top there. Once I saw that, I thought, no, too much tinkering. New captain. And got rid of the success story at the top, and the success story, you can't really rely on it. I think when we had to do that recording for the top 4, I said, no, I see KK are struggling. So that was one of my predictions that I kind of got right. The rest of them have been terrible. But I think it's been a case in point of them have been struggling to settle the unit and to perform well.
I don't know if they've recovered from that loss in the new stadium in Punjab.
The Punjab one, 111.
111 to get there, 60 for 2. We're all sitting in commentary saying, get it in 14.1. And they sort of needed to get 50 in 6 overs or something.
To go top of the table.
15 minutes later, we're saying, can they even win this? And they lose by 17. So I don't know if they've got over it, because they played a bizarre last match. That last match, much like Chennai today, is a game Calcutta will hope never happened, because they just dawdled.
Yep.
They dawdled and they dawdled and they dawdled, and they fell short. They were about 50 meters behind the guy who finished the race.
With 9 batters.
Yeah, with 9 batters.
Yeah.
So
proper 9 batters.
So they need to get over this little gap that they've had.
Yeah.
I hope they just come out fresh again, because they have the skills, and they suddenly find this person sitting in the change room who's been around but they haven't noticed, called Andre Russell.
Yeah. Who bowls an over, gets a wicket, and then doesn't bowl another over.
He's bowled
every game.
Yeah, he's bowled
I think
some 7 overs and got 5 or 6 wickets.
6 wickets, I think.
Yeah, okay, now
9 overs.
It's got to
and
9
7
now.
But it's been
something like that.
It's been the case in point for the last 3 or 4 seasons, isn't it? Because he's had that knee injury. It's like, what can we or can't we get out of him? We know how destructive he can be. What role has he played with the bat? He kind of hasn't solidified. This is my contribution, and you can guarantee this from me on a daily basis. And I think that's also a hard issue to deal with, because he is such a gun performer. He's great when he gets on with the ball. It's unbelievable when he's on with the bat, but they haven't really, I mean, they won last year, so you can't complain too much, but you haven't really been able to rely on him as much as they'd want to. And he's the kind of guy you can build a side around, and he hasn't given them for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and I think with those knees, it's tough for any knees to carry those guns, right? That's a lot of guns
And he's had a
that
lot
you
of
carry.
problem with his knee. I remember he was player of the match one year, and I had to go back at the end of the presentation. And I said, you're in very good form. Have you considered playing long-form cricket? And he said, it's my knee.
Yeah.
And
You
I
thought
I
he said money.
I thought he said it's money. And I said, that's a perfectly honest thing to say. Who says I will not play test cricket because of my knee? And he said it 2 or 3 times, said, no, man, it's my knee. That's when I realized you're saying, it's my knee.
I think it's also a little bit of money, but a lot of it is money. All right. Any changes? Nothing? You see, I mean, they are playing. This is a good combination. There's nobody out there.
Depending on the
think-
surface again, whether Moeen Ali goes out again and maybe Heinrich Nokia comes back
No, one
in
sec.
on that surface.
Nokia's injured, right? Nokia's not.
No, he
okay.
played.
No, he played one
He
game.
was injured for a while, but he was brought back.
So he played,
but he's back now.
Yeah, he
Okay,
played.
great.
He played one of the games.
So that's probably the only change they make.
He played that Mullanpur game. I remember because he came out to bat and he was sent. The bat was sent back.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It
was a few weeks ago, correct.
In fact, there's been 2 bowlers who've had to have. There was one tonight, wasn't there?
Yes, there
Noor
was.
Ahmed came out and he had to have his
back.
bat sent back.
So
Yeah.
depending on that surface, they might just say, okay, Nokia in for Moeen Ali if they need the extra pace there.
Okay, cool. Player to watch out for from each team. Let's start with Punjab. I'm saying Priyansh.
Priyansh, you like Priyansh?
I like Priyansh Arya. I like him.
And he's 24, 23, 24, but he looks really young.
Yeah.
He's not the biggest built.
Yeah.
He can hit the ball.
He's
Okay.
a pocket rocket, I like to call him.
For the success of the tournament, I think Stoinis needs to start giving us a little bit more in the middle there. With
Yeah, they're pushing down to 7 now.
Well, I hope he plays.
and even
Whoever sits there, Joyce is there.
Yeah, because that's what happens.
well, who did I predict?
No, you did. It's that chair.
Oh, okay, it's that chair.
Whenever Joy is in that chair, he ends up picking a player who gets dropped the next day. It's like the hex.
Or he picks two
puts
from
the
the
hex
same-
on them
Or he picks 2 from the same
from
team.
the same team.
Because Stoinis also hasn't done that much of a role with the ball too. I mean,
Not to the
he's
ball. I
better.
think there was one game where he did a bit in the end, but that was against Hyderabad, and Hyderabad won anyway.
Now, he needs to bowl more because he's definitely capable of doing much better with the ball. Another player, because of this impact sub, we've got so many bowling options.
Yeah.
But Stoinis actually needs to do much more with the ball. He had one very good effort with the bat. He made 31 of 13, 14 balls or something.
That was the
like
Hyderabad game.
Yeah.
That was the Hyderabad game, which Hyderabad won because of Abhishek's century.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a big kind of showed his ability in that game with the bat.
But I think for the success of their tournament, they need. I mean, obviously Maxwell hasn't hit the ground running, and he hasn't been the one. But they need Stoinis, I think.
And
Okay.
They need Janssen.
Yeah, but Janssen's been okay.
Been okay.
He's picked up wickets and he's had the odd striking. And yeah, when I've watched, I haven't thought he's done too badly. But for me, we always talk about, we're talking about Russell, and it's just that balance. If you get that all round there, you can just fire with the ball, fire a little bit with the bat. I think it's key to their
A bit like what cool Kamindu did today.
Yes.
A bit like that, just contribute everywhere with everything.
Yeah, I just think Punjab are very good when Shreyas is controlling the
Great.
controlling the
Like
innings.
that.
So
So you'd like to
he's my key player for Punjab.
Beautiful. The Knight Riders.
They have to unlock Russell, man.
Okay.
They have to unlock Russell. And last year he gave them, 17, 19 wickets, something like that. So they've got to unlock Russell and get him to bowl. And doesn't matter who's left, he will bat at 6.
Yep.
Doesn't matter who's left. Rinku 5, Russell 6. Then you see what happens, what's happening around.
Yeah. Unlock him. Actually, what I would like to see is they not unlock him, they cage him and he just brings the thing and he just comes out like that. Just uncage himself. I wish he would.
The moment he talks about Russell, his expression is he's trying to pretend he is Russell.
Nobody can be Russell.
No.
That gun show? No. Nobody can be Russell. No matter how much protein you... Johnny Bravo can't be Andre Russell. And you know who Johnny Bravo is.
Yeah, because the other Bravo is just sitting next to him and he's not Johnny.
That's right.
For me, I'm looking for Cricbuzz. I don't think they would change and go back to Quinton. I think
No,
he
not
would
after one
definitely
game.
Stay, yeah. But therein lies their success last year. A lot of it came from the top of the order.
Yeah.
So they need someone.
And Cricbuzz did well in the play because he only played in the playoffs week, right?
Yeah.
Because
Because
that's when
Salt was
Phil Salt
playing
left for the last week and Cricbuzz played. I think he did well in those. Oh, did they play 2 or did they play 3?
2, I think, but he did all right.
He got
those-
one score, one good, really
got
good
one
score.
good
Yeah, he got one good score. He's a good player. He's a good player. So yeah, could be. All right, good choice. Let's have a look at the joy factor question and see if anybody got that right. Anybody? Somebody? With regards to England cricket, what unique event took place in the New Zealand versus England test? In Christchurch in
I'll tell you what,
92.
two of us sat down and pulled out the scorecard.
What was it?
And the one thing that struck me about that England team was there was hardly anybody from England originally in that England team. So I don't know if that's the answer, but there was nobody.
But they're from the colonies, sir.
They were from the colonies.
It was an imperial England cricket team.
including Hong Kong.
Including Hong Kong.
And this was just...
before they gave it away.
And this is 92, you see.
Yeah.
So they'd not gone harvesting into South Africa yet.
We had.
Already, they had Alan Lamb and
Smith.
Robin Smith.
Of course they
Alan
did.
Lamb and Robin Smith, they already had. Correct.
Yes. Of course, the absurd part of this is that the two of them, these nerds, are sitting and reading a scorecard from 92. I leave them unsupervised for 10 minutes and this is what they get up to. All right. Did you guys get the answer, though?
I don't know the answer.
After all of that.
I
After all of that.
I also Googled, right, and I came up with some explanation, and it said Ian Botham ended up getting Chris Cairns out, and that meant that he had got a father and son combination out because he had got Lance Cairns out,
Yeah.
and then he had got Chris Cairns
I
out.
like that.
And I went and looked at the score sheet. Ian Botham didn't play.
that game.
So be careful what you Google.
I like that. All right. Let's put everyone out of their misery. Show you the answer. For the first time, only 4 members of the English team were born in England. There you go. You were right. Graham Gooch, Alex Stewart, Jack Russell, and Phil Tufnell. So 7 of them were not born in England. It's amazing. Outsourcing.
No, let's Google that team and see where they were from. I think 92, definitely Robin Smith,
Dermot Reeve was there. He
Alan
was the
Lamb,
Hong
Dermot
Kong.
Reeve, Phil de Freitas.
There must have been some New Zealand born somewhere.
Yeah, so around
Yeah.
that time, so many of them.
Yeah. There was no India born, no senior Nawab Pataudi.
You said Lamb Smith.
Okay, you keep talking.
I'll show you who the winner is. I'll show you the first correct answer while the nerds do their bit in the library. Amey 31, congratulations to you. I think Amey's birthday is on the 31st of May. Just a guess, 31.5. But congratulations, well done. You were the first person to
Graham
get the correct answer in.
Okay.
Yes.
Go on, you got his name?
Oh, that's it. I was just stalling.
Graham Hicks, Zimbabwe. Robin Smith, South Africa. Alan Lamb, South Africa. Dermot Reeve, Hong Kong. Chris Lewis, somewhere in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Phil de Freitas, Windward Islands, Caribbean. Derek Pringle. Derek Pringle would have been Kenya because his father played the 1975 World Cup representing East Africa.
What a nerd.
Don Pringle played for East Africa in the
Yeah.
first 1975 World Cup.
Yeah.
When it was East Africa. So they had Kenya, Uganda, Zambia. All 3 together representing the 8th team at the World Cup.
Yeah.
So he must be, he's probably somewhere there. And there's Phil Tufnell, who probably wouldn't remember where he was born anyway.
Tuffers was from the UK.
I know,
I think
I
he
know.
was the one.
Tufnell was there. You counted 7.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh,
There you go.
excellent. Well, there you go.
Who was the 12th man? Just joking.
Oh, that's a good point. Where was the 12th?
Was he
man?
born?
Maybe Welsh? Scottish.
And there were 2 Pringles who played that test match
That's right.
because Chris Pringle played it as well.
Oh.
And Danny Morrison played and never asked anybody at the top of his mark if they're getting married.
Yeah, that's right. But that's the thing with the Pringles. You can count on them when the chips are down. Stop it.
There's a third
Stop
Pringle who played with
it.
him. The third Pringle who played with him in
Oh,
South
really?
Africa.
Merrick.
Oh, Merrick Pringle. I remember Merrick Pringles.
There's Pringles everywhere.
Yeah.
So many different flavors.
That's right. There's enough saturated fat for everyone. There you go. All right. There's a lot of unsaturated fat on this points table that I'm going to show you, and most of it is being eaten by people here. Oh, I have done nothing and gone. How have I done nothing and gone up one position? Okay, I've gone up just a smidge above Virendra Sehwag. We all got it wrong today because this is what happens when Hyderabad plays. You have no idea what they're going to get, what they're going to give, right? Today, again with them, we had no idea what they do in the power play. Today they got 37 in the power play.
37.
37? This
One hit, 43. Who said 48?
You didn't say 48.
I said 49. Whatever, just one hit here.
49, so it was not even one hit, it's
One
two
hit,
hits.
one hit and a single.
But never mind that.
And if Huda hits 1-6, so if there's an award for the almost there guy or the guy who talks about being almost there the most,
Oh, Lord. If our wishes were horses, somebody
I
would
would
have
fly.
wings. Yeah, I don't
If
know.
ifs and ands were pots and pans, there'd been a need for tinkers.
There you go. If
Ifs and ands were pots and
ifs
pans.
and ands were pots
You've
and
been working
pans,
with
there would
Sidhu.
be no need for tinkers. There you
working
go.
with Sidhu.
No, it's an old saying.
I know, but Sidhu keeps saying this all the time.
Also, they say there's another Hindi one. If my aunt had mustache, be my uncle. I love translating these for him. Yeah. All right. So you've not opened your account, and you are back at 10%,
10 point something.
10 point something. All right. We've all had a bad day. It's been a bad day with the guessing game, but it's okay. We'll live to fight another day, and that day will be tomorrow. We'll see you at 7 p.m. So do join us then. Shaun, Pollock and Harsha Bhogle will be here tomorrow. You will be?
Yes? You cannot drop further down because you're not there tomorrow.
I'm not there tomorrow. I got a day off.
Yeah.
I'm going to be chilling. Yeah. I'll be sending you my love from the paddle court. I'll be sending you my love from the paddle court while you enjoy your show. But as is with Cricbuzz Live, the show goes on. Well, somebody or the other is here every day to entertain you and give you your cricket fix. So just keep those notifications on your app and know every time we're on air. Big thank you to Shaun, Pollock and Harsha Bhogle. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you for all the nerdy stuff. Thank you for all the trivia. Thank you for all the fun and the insights.
And when you go back home today, remember you got a front door. You don't have to come up the pipe.
Why not? I wanna. It's more fun that way. And he went, Bandra, I shouldn't do it because
Yes, correct.
there's some trauma. There's some trauma there. It's one of those, if you know, you know. All right, that's all we have time for. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. Khirki kholo, main pipe se niche jaunga.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Express, Dayabasi Station, Netaji Obot.